The following teaching is possible thanks to the friends and partners of Spirit and Truth Fellowship International.
What does the Bible say about Halloween? Well, nothing and a whole lot. It says nothing about the specific date, October 31, when people dress up and go around to people's homes and get candy. It says nothing about the specific date. But it has a lot to say about biblical principles that apply to how we behave on October 31st. Now, this is absolutely standard. There are many things today that weren't around in the biblical world. Nuclear waste, do cell phones cause brain cancer? Many things that the Bible doesn't address simply because they weren't around in biblical times. But that doesn't mean that there aren't principles that we should pay attention to and learn from that are very important for us to learn from. Now, I want to say right up front, I don't want to get into the history of Halloween. A lot of Christians, when they talk about Halloween, want to get into the history of it and how it started and what's been involved through the ages. I really don't think that's as important as the principles that are involved. For example, let's take just even the days of the week, like Sunday is related to the worship of the sun. Monday is related to the worship of the moon. Thursday is related to the god Thor. But I don't think I'm being irreligious or that a Christian is somehow dishonoring God by saying Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, even though those names historically are rooted in the worship of pagan gods. What I think is more important when we're looking at things like Halloween is, what does the Bible say about how we should behave? Now, we know that the Bible says there is a God and there is good. And there is a devil. There is a devil. And there is evil. And there's a spiritual war that's raging between good and evil. And every person makes a choice about whether they want to serve God or not serve God. And it's the two sides, God's side and the devil's side, are very much warring. God is trying to get people to honor Him, bless Him, recognize Him, obey Him, so that they can be saved and that He can bless them with everlasting life. The devil, on the other hand, is getting people to worship and obey him. He's trying to get people to worship and obey him. And if he can't do that, he's trying to get people to not honor God. And this is the so-called vast majority of people that they say, well, they're not overtly evil. They're not overtly godly in the sense that they don't go to church, they don't read their Bible, they don't pray. But they say, but I'm a good person. It's very important to understand that the devil's really trying to if he can't get you to worship him, he wants you to be a good person, just so God doesn't get any honor or credit. And there's a huge battle about that. There are people that have sold themselves out to do what is evil. They're professional thieves, or they're murderers, or they're liars, and they do the works of their father. But the devil is just as invested in getting people to simply not honor God. If you won't worship the devil, can the devil get you to where you don't honor God? You see, it's like in the spiritual world of things, there are those people, and I count myself as one, and perhaps you count yourself as one, who get up and I pray, I read my Bible. I really, in my life, I try to honor God with what I do. And then there are those people that don't care at all about God, and they are going to be firmly in the camp of the adversary. They are going to do evil in their life. But the majority of the people are just kind of background noise. And, it's kind of interesting in light of that. What's background noise? Background noise is it's noise that keeps you distracted, noise that keeps you from hearing things clearly. This morning I was on my cell phone with a friend of mine And he was driving down the road. He was talking on his Bluetooth little device, you know, that hands-free device in the phone. And he was driving past something that he needed to take a picture of. So he stops the car, he gets out of the car, he walks away from the car. Meanwhile, I'm still with him. Well, in just literally seconds, I'm hearing... Now, he's still talking. And if I really worked, I could hear him. But most of it was just... And then eventually he got back in the car and we could talk clearly again. See, that's what the devil wants people to do. He wants people, if you're not going to worship me, says the devil, if you're not going to obey me, then I want you as part of the general background noise. Now, we have to be clear that if you're part of the background noise, even though you might think of yourself as a good person, oh, well, no, yeah, I'm not really a godly person and I don't really obey God or do any of those religious things, but I'm a good person. I think we need to listen very carefully to Jesus Christ here. Here's what Jesus Christ himself had to say. He said, "He who is not with me is against me, and he who does not gather with me scatters." That's Matthew chapter 12, verse 30. You see, from a spiritual perspective, there is a God, there is a devil, there is a spiritual war between them, and everything we do contributes to one side or the other of that spiritual war. Now the Bible walks a very fine line. There's a very fine line that the Bible walks between informing us about the devil and glorifying the devil. So for example, even the names of the devil in the Bible aren't names. Did you know that we don't even know his actual real name? There's not one title of the devil in the Bible that actually is his name. I know some people say, well, his name is Lucifer. That's not a name. That was a designation. Well, anyway, it was a designation of the planet Venus and the morning star, but that's not his name. The devil means slanderer. Satan means adversary. He's called the enemy. He's called the wicked one. He's called the tempter. He's got this whole bunch of names in the Bible, but they don't glorify him. They inform us about him and who he is. So the Bible walks a fine line between information and glorification, and we do too. You and I in our lives have to learn to walk a fine line between informing others about the devil and helping others obey God. And frankly, Halloween is one of those times that desensitizes people to the devil in the spiritual fight. We see cute little ghosts walking around. We see witches on walls. You know, those are demonic. If you're a witch, then you are against God and Jesus Christ. The very nature of witchcraft is control, and control over people and control over things in an ungodly way. You know, you see on Halloween, what do you see? You see ghosts, you see witches, you see demons, you see gory people, evil people, people that have killed skulls and crossbones and that kind of thing. Those are against God. And when you put on that kind of thing, that even if you say, well, I don't mean any real harm by it, again, we're just becoming part of the general background noise that says, you know what? The things of God, they aren't very important. I mean, what God thinks about the devil, what God thinks about ghosts, what God thinks about witches, those things aren't very important. They are important, and we don't want to be a part of the general background that dishonors God. As Christians, we want to get to the point that what we do in our life honors God. Now let me just talk very quickly about a couple alternatives. There's nothing wrong with having a harvest party. There's nothing wrong with having a costume party, and those things are certainly available. Something else you might want to know about is on October 31st in 1517, Martin Luther nailed the 95 Theses to the door at Wittenberg, which is generally credited as the date that started the Christian Reformation. Can you have a party on October 31st? Absolutely. Why not have a Reformation party and pray and talk about things that will glorify God and move the Word? Or have a harvest party at the end of the year and have a wonderful time getting together and doing things that honor God. Remember, what we want to ask ourselves is what I'm doing honoring God, or is it simply desensitizing people and adding to the background noise that says that not honoring God is okay? Let's ask ourselves those important questions. God bless you.